All right, so today we're going to be doing subtracting probabilities. When do we normally use subtracting probabilities? Usually you will deal with it when you are missing a probability, when you have something missing, or they give you missing information. Here we will apply things that, that we learn when adding and subtracting fractions, mainly common denominators and finding the least common multiple. All right, so we're going to start with spinner. So we have the spinner and we have a missing piece. So say, for instance, you're playing a game and we have to figure out what the missing piece is before we can play the game. We have 1/3, 1/6, 1/4, 1/5. We have to find this missing piece. So the steps for finding a missing piece, like if they give you everything and then you have something missing, is first you have to add all of the fractions that they have. Excuse my bad handwriting. All right, so first you have to add the given. In this case, in order to add the given, we have to find a common denominator first before we can do anything else. Now, if we look at 6, 4, 5, and 3, we can list all the multiples to figure out what the common denominator is. But I'm just going to tell you that the common denominator is 60. So if you thought the common denominator is 60, you are correct. All right, so we know that our common denominator is 60. So now all we have to do is multiply our numerator by whatever we multiply our denominator by in order to make some equivalent fractions. So what do you multiply 6 by to get 60? What do you multiply 4 by to get 60? What do you multiply 5 by to get 60? And what do you multiply 3 by to get 60? Go ahead and pause the video here and complete the fractions. All right, so here you can excuse my handwriting, but I have 10/60ths. 15 over 60, 12 over 60, and 20 over 60. If we were to add all of those together, we will end up with 57 over 60, which is our step 1, add all the given. All right, so step 2 is we're going to subtract. Well, actually, if we can reduce this, we're going to reduce it. We can reduce this one. We can multiply the top and the bottom by 3. And that would end up giving us 19 over 20. All right, so our next step is we're going to subtract this from a whole. What number can we write that has the same denominator that would create one whole? That's basically a giant 1 that we talked about in class today. So we're going to create a giant 1, and we're going to subtract this from the giant 1. And again, here you can excuse my terrible handwriting, but step 1 is add the given, and step 2 is subtract from 1. And in this case, we're going to create a giant 1 with the same denominator as what we already have. And our denominator is 20. So to create a giant 1, we just put the same thing up top. And we're going to subtract. So we have 20 minus 19, which is 1. And our denominator stays the same. So the missing is 1/20. What goes there. All right, so now what if they give you partial information? So in this case, it says there is a 27 chance of drawing a red marble out of a bag of marbles. Probability of drawing a red and blue marble is 2/3. What is the probability of drawing a blue marble? So in this case, all we are going to do is subtract. We're going to subtract what's our probability for both from the probability of 1, which is red, because we are trying to figure out blue by itself. The steps are Not the same as if you have that missing in the spinner. Here we're just going to subtract both, or we're going to subtract the one from the both. First step, find a common denominator. All right, so if you say the common denominator is 21, you are correct. So now what are you going to do to 3 to get 21? You do the same thing to the 2. And what do you do to 7 to get 21? You do the same thing to the 2 as well. All right, so now we have 14 over 21 minus 6 over 21. So now you're going to do is solve it. So we have 14 minus 6, which is 8. And your denominator will stay the same. In this case, we cannot reduce it. So what is the probability of drawing a blue marble? Well, it's 8 over 21. All right, so let's wrap this up. You subtract probabilities when you're trying to find missing information. You must have common denominators to subtract the probabilities. When you have a missing, like in a spinner, you are going to add up everything you have and subtract from a giant one. But if they give you all the information they give you with the probabilities together, you're going to take the two probabilities together, and from that you will subtract the probability by itself to find your missing information. So what's next? Show me what you know. Answer the four quick questions. Sorry, tongue tied on Schoology, and then answer your one question for understanding. Don't forget to take notes, and if you did not take notes, go ahead and rewind it here. Go back and take notes because you need those. Signing off, Miss Welch.